Hello and good evening. My name is Jeremiah Shaver and I'm a multimedia journalist for the Telegram. I am broadcasting live here at Wellston High School, where this evening the Wellston City School Board voted 5-0 to hire a new superintendent. Now, the district has been without a permanent superintendent since last year. In October 2021, longtime Superintendent Karen Boch had retired, and then since that time they have had a interim, a fill-in in Mary Ann Hale, and she has been running the district until they found somebody to replace. And as I was saying tonight, it was recommended that the Board of Education employ Dr. Brian Rao as the superintendent for the Wellston City School District. He was employed for a 3-year contract that'll begin August 1st, 2022. I have Mr. Rao, or Dr. Rao, here, and we'll flip the camera around and we'll let him introduce himself and talk to the community here.
All right. Well, first, thank you for even allowing me to have this platform. And for those watching, full disclosure, I do not know much about Facebook other than what it is. I don't have a Facebook account. So the Facebook Live is a little bit new to me, but I sure appreciate the platform and the opportunity that you guys, for however many is joining, definitely appreciate it. And it's a pleasure to meet all of you, even though it's just through the live platform. But it is an absolute pleasure to meet you guys, and it's a pleasure to be here at Wellston.
Okay, so Dr. Rao, talk a little bit about your background and maybe a little bit about your family, career, where you come from.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Brian Rao. I started, my family, a lot of my family's been in education, so I'm one of those products of, my mother was a retired teacher. I've got several cousins that's in education. So really, education was just part of what we did in the family. As far as my experiences, I will always be at heart a substitute teacher, because that's the realm that I came from. I came from the substitute teacher rank, and I still hold those folks very, very close to my heart, because without them, really, especially in today's day and age, because we just lack so many of them. But I started teaching 7th grade or junior high mathematics. I'm a math guy, so the language arts, I have so much respect for the literacy folks, but I'm a math guy. Taught 7th grade math at Ripley Middle School in Brown County for 4 years before I moved into administration at Manchester Local Schools, where I've been the last 12 years. So at Manchester, I've served as elementary assistant principal and district special education coordinator, elementary principal for 3 years. Then 3 years director of special programs and director of curriculum and instruction, which also included back to special education. And then the past 5 years as superintendent for Manchester. I graduated from Morehead State University with my bachelor's degree, the University of Dayton for my master's, and University of the Cumberland for my PhD, which I did my research. And I have a passion for early childhood education, or preschool, just making sure that we have and we grant access to preschool to all 3 and 4 year olds. And here at Wellston, what I found out this evening is they have an incredible preschool program, so I am just overly excited to get to know those folks as well. My family, married to an absolutely wonderful, wonderful woman. Her name's Michelle, and she is in her 33rd year of teaching family consumer sciences at Ripley High School in Brown County. Long story of how we met, but I won't get into that right now. Collectively, we have 4 kids. Ashley is 32, Michael's 30. Destiny is 21, Blanton is 17. He'll be a senior next year. And we've got a beautiful granddaughter. Her name is Summer, and she is 13. So we've got the gamut. And believe me, there's nothing dull about anything that we're doing. So, but that's a little bit about my experiences, and that's a little bit about my family.
Okay, so Dr. Rao, one of the questions that I keep seeing out in the community since the announcement that they were going to hire you as superintendent here for the Wellston City School District was, what is your plan or vision for the school district? Some people were wondering that, as you come from outside of the county.
And that's a fair question. If I was a community member, that would be one of the things that I'd be asking, because I'm not from Wellston, but I have been blessed enough to have known Karen the last 5 years. And she and I have already been in contact or Mrs. Boch. I've just known her as Karen. So she and I have been able to talk. I know when I was applying to Wellston, what I'll say is there are some things that I kind of did some homework on before I even applied to Wellston. Talked to some folks, kind of did some snooping around a little bit, and everything I found out was just absolutely positive about the community, about the school, about the staff, the students. And there wasn't anything I could find that was just an absolute negative. So when I applied, I got the interview, and I'm being very genuine here, is when I went home that night after the first interview, sometimes you just know you have a connection. And I told my wife, I said, I've never told you this before, but I was like, if I was ever to get a call back for a second interview, I would sure love it to be this group. It was just, we had great conversations. Everything just seemed to click. As I was driving through the town of Wellston, everything seemed like that. This is where I needed to be. This is where I was supposed to be. And then just blessed enough to get the call back. So I understand folks as being apprehensive about, because I'm not from here. But folks, most of my career, all my career has been in small towns, much smaller than this. High poverty. Unfortunately, we have some parents that just don't value education. So I understand how important the school is to the community. Where I was at Ripley, where I was at Manchester, and I'm going to bring that here at Wellston as well. I understand how important the school is to the community. Met some amazing community folks out here this evening, amazing staff members, administrative team. I'm just very, very, very anxious and excited to get going. Going back to the vision, here's my take on the vision. I see things a little differently. The Board of Education and its stakeholders, they put together a vision for the district. They hire me to ensure that what I'm doing is paralleled to the vision that they've set. And I know that when Mrs. Boch was here for the 15 years, Wellston was on an upward trend. And some of the things that I have seen, some of the data that I have reviewed, evidences that success. So I don't want to come in here and change anything that's working right now with Wellston, whether it's academics or anything of the sort. The mission of Wellston is that we're going to continue academic excellence for all learners. And that actually includes all learners. It doesn't say all students. So all learners can be staff members, students. So it's not just the students. So we want to build that. I want to continue building the culture here at Wellston that is going to possibly, and I say possibly, going to surpass what we might have heard. And I don't want to offend anybody here, so I know how Facebook's going to light up probably when I say this, but I want to make sure that we're rivaling Jackson City Schools. I came up here incognito, I guess, a couple of Saturdays ago, and it was the Friday that it snowed. I mean, just out of the blue, just huge snow. I called and said, "Man, how's the roads?" And they said, "No, roads are fine." So I came up that evening, or that Saturday morning. It was my wife, my granddaughter, and I come up. And I just had my toboggan on, didn't shave, I looked terrible. But I was going around to different businesses in different places, and I stopped and talked to several folks. They didn't know who I was. Now I just said, I'm looking to possibly come into the area, and can you tell me something about your school? And I never heard, most of it was overwhelmingly positive. And they didn't know who I was. And they were very brutally honest about some things. But one thing I kept hearing when I first came up here was the comments about Jackson City. So immediately, of course, my mind starts turning. So what I envision for Wellston, academically, I want us to rival Jackson City when it comes to academic rigor. The courses we put in place for all grade levels, not necessarily programs. Programs do not produce excellent students. Teachers produce excellent students. Our biggest asset has to be our teachers in the classroom. But I will say this, I have a very special place in my heart for the support staff, because without the bus drivers, the custodians, the food service employees, the administrative assistants, and I know I'm forgetting some, the paraprofessionals, man, gosh, I can't forget the paraprofessionals. Those are the folks that keep the district rolling. And I don't want to offend any particular classification, but without those support staff individuals, none of this is even possible. So I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to get next school year started. And I know we have to finish this school year and don't rush summer, although I know the parents out there are saying, do we even have to have a summer? Let's just keep the kids in all year. Believe me, I'm a parent, I get it. But I can't wait to start, and I'm humbled, I'm blessed. I promise you, whoever's the ones watching out here, I promise you, you're going to see me in the community. You're going to see me at events here at the school. I'm one of those folks that love to be a member of the community. I became a member of Manchester's community, and that's evidenced by, I think it was my second year of superintendent. I can't remember if it was my first or second year of superintendent. Is the Manchester Alumni Association unanimously voted me an honorary alum. That meant the absolute world to me, because that told me that the community accepted me. Even though I didn't graduate from Manchester, they accepted me because of what I've done for the community and what I was able to bring to the school. And I truly think, if you guys just kind of give me a chance, then you're going to see that same thing from me with Wellston. And I can't stress enough how excited I am to be part of the community, part of the school. Met so many great folks this evening, and I can't wait to meet all of you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ryle, and welcome to Jackson County, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.